Okay, be calm. Be calm. Take a deep breath. Press the like button and subscribe. It's time to talk about why Sony just gave $1 billion to Epic Games. What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here. Now, I've seen a lot of people talking about this deal and simply not understanding it. I've seen some complete speculation all the way from Sony is trying to buy Fortnite, all the way down to the fact that this is just some sort of minor contractual thing. Let me explain what's truly going on, because their official statement makes it pretty clear that this is kind of a genius move for Sony, but I feel like it's not going to affect their games for probably 4 or 5 years. But let's begin by taking a look at the official notice. So this is over on epicgames.com, and basically what's happened is both Sony and Kirkby, this is basically the people who own Lego, they both decided to give $1 billion each to Epic Games. Now, obviously, Epic Games, they have their fingers in a lot of different pies. I feel like a lot of gamers specifically only imagine Epic Games as the creators of Fortnite, when really they're kind of involved in hundreds and hundreds of different projects, both big and small. But let's face it, Fortnite is their biggest piece of the pie. Fortnite makes hundreds of billions of dollars collectively. But inside the statement, it basically says, "Thank you for the $1 billion, haha." And right here, this is the official statement by the head and president of freaking Sony. Here we go. "As a creative entertainment company, we're thrilled to invest in Epic Games to deepen our relationship in the metaverse field, space where creators and users share their time." Now, this can mean two separate things at once. Metaverse is the stupid buzzword we keep hearing constantly. That probably means that there's going to be some sort of very much more digital future. There's been a lot of talk about the idea of what comes after the internet. Currently, we're still in a space where the internet is something that exists on your screen. The internet is something that exists on your phone. It sounds like these people want the metaverse to be the evolution of that. A space you go to interact more directly. Like, isn't it Pepsi or Coca-Cola is selling a version of their drink in the metaverse? A soda that you can't sip, but you can pay for. Well, excuse me, my eye feels like it's falling out of my head. Now, whatever the metaverse turns out to be in its final format, whether it is something that's VR related or just stores you can walk around in digitally, it seems like Sony wants to make sure that they're involved in that before it starts blowing up, which I guess is a smart move, but I don't really care about that. I think the metaverse is cringe. But here's the other part of it that I think is actually much more telling of what's truly going on. We're confident that Epic's expertise, including their powerful game engine, combined with Sony's technologies, will accelerate our various efforts, such as the development of new digital fan experiences in sports and our virtual production initiatives. So this is actually what's going on. So this is separately. Sony is in a spot that I feel like Microsoft and Nintendo are not, which is that Nintendo predominantly makes their own cool games. They're constantly trying to make Kirby, Pokemon, Mario, Zelda. They're trying to just churn out new patches for Metroid and stuff like that. But everybody over at Nintendo is focused on their existing IP. They're constantly just trying to make the good games for their systems exclusively. Even if you consider something like the Mario movie is not being made by Nintendo. They hired a company, Illumination, to make it on their behalf. Whereas Microsoft does have a bunch of different software that exists on billions of PCs or whatever like that, whereas Sony is in a spot where they're trying to do a million things at once. Sony wants to make the biggest movies like Morbius, LOL. They're trying to make new stuff with Spider-Man. They're trying to make new Spider-Man games, Spider-Man movies, Spider-Man everything. But also, they're still trying to make their own exclusive games. They're trying to put stuff on PC. Sony is also trying to, of course, make, the biggest, greatest game consoles. Sony is trying to throw the widest net, and I think this is part of that. They believe that Epic Games is going to basically fundamentally create the toolkit that can help with the future of PlayStation and Sony in general. Now, there seems to be so much confusion, stuff like this. With $1 billion, they could have scooped up 3 small studios with that cash. What's the end game here? Well, it makes it a point to say this is an investment, which means that right now, I've seen some rough numbers. So right here, Sony has invested $1 billion in Epic Games. Total, Sony has invested $1.45 billion in Epic. Epic Games' most money equity valuation is $31.5 billion, meaning that Epic Games as a company right now is worth $32 billion if somebody was trying to buy it. Well, it feels like Sony is just trying to ride that rocket. They're just investing now so that whenever Epic Games continues to grow, Sony gets a free piece of the pie and probably, maybe, special access to Unreal Engine 5 toolkits. Now, Unreal Engine 5, obviously, if you've seen it, Unreal Engine 5 does some simply crazy stuff. Big old game engine, gorgeous cities. Like, Unreal Engine 5, if you haven't seen anybody or talked to anybody who's been tinkering with this, it is truly the future of video game engines. But, if I could scroll down here for a second, basically, Unreal Engine 5 does more than just help people make games. It seems like they're trying to make it so it can create television shows and movies as well, which is part of the efforts of Sony. Sony probably wants to be able to make more than just video games. They want to be able to make all sorts of extra stuff with this same engine, these same parts used for all the different aspects of Sony that need to be profitable. Now, here's why I do think this is a good thing. As a gamer, as somebody that doesn't really watch that many movies, I am excited for this because I'm just hoping this makes games faster. We're still in the spot where it feels like the production of video games takes longer and longer and longer every single generation. From the time at which they say the game is in development till the time you can actually play it is a lot of times 4 or 5 years. Like, it feels like each time there's a bigger, crazier, epic AAA experience, it takes longer to create. The toolkit of Epic Games can hopefully shorten that. Hopefully we're getting into a space where the engine of Unreal Engine 5, which I've heard is a very, very easy toolkit, it makes me think, what if we can see some sort of partnership? And I'm not even just limiting this to Sony. I really do hope that Nintendo, if they need it, or Microsoft, if they want it, can just start using this as well. I love video games. I love video games coming out every single year, and these games with these huge gaps and long droughts, sometimes it just sucks. It's boring. I wish that there was a way where game developers had better tools to make games that they want, but much, much faster. Now, I think this is great. Unreal Engine 5 is not making Fortnite clones. It is basically a set of things like lighting, telemetry, graphics, frame rate. It is very optimized. It's very ready to go. It's a foundation to build your house upon. And now, as weird as it is to think about, whenever people get Unreal Engine 5, in a way, Sony gets a piece of that pie. But what do you think about this? Are you thinking this is a good thing or a bad thing? I mean, right now as it stands, this seems like a smart move. I think they just had to announce this because it is a $1 billion deal. But I don't think it's going to affect you or me for probably, a bit. It's going to be a second before you start to see like a partnership between Sony and Epic Games product. We'll see though. Thank you so much for watching this, gamers. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a giant thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all, and keep dreaming.
Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.